Hello, my people. I am back again talking about this new Nigerian tax law that will take effect in January 2026. Let's jump right into it because today we have a lot to talk about. In this video, I'm going to talk about what will be taxed. If I start to talk, my brothers and sisters, we will never leave this place today. So let me start by telling you that once you've watched this video, you see that video, my previous video where I talk about what will not be taxed. Once you watch that video, anything you don't see inside that video will be taxed. Yeah, it's a much longer list of things that you'll be taxed for. You know, government is out to get your money. So there's a very long list of things to be taxed. That's why I just brought out the things that will not be taxed because they are easier to compile. Because believe it or not, every other thing that I did not mention in that video will be taxed one way or the other. So please watch that video and everything you don't see there will be taxed. With that said, I think the best way to make this video about what will be taxed under the new Nigerian tax law is to answer the questions I've gotten so far in the videos that I've made about this new tax law. Somebody asked, how do we file for taxes? You have to self-declare at the end of the year, at the end of the tax year. Nigerian tax year is from January to December. So before March 31st, the next year, you're supposed to self-declare. Normally, you file for your taxes via the FIRS website. Don't worry, they will present everything because right now, for instance, in Lagos, there's LIRS. Some people have to file with LIRS right now. Some people have to file with FIRS, but they're trying to unify everything and then come up so that we don't pay federal tax, state tax, local government tax. So they're trying to unify everything. Let's see what they come up with. This is part of the reason why I have my misgivings about this tax law because there are a lot of things that are still not in place, but that's not what we are here to talk about today. But yeah, you have to self-declare. I don't know how they're going to affect that. I don't know if they're going to garnish people's accounts if they don't self-declare, like people that are self-employed or doing their own business, people that are doing side hustles and all that. I don't know how they're going to do that. We're going to wait and see if they're going to garnish people's accounts. And when you want to go and operate your account, it won't be working. And when you go to your bank, and they'll tell you, the taxman has locked your account. Then you go and do what you need to do to get them to make your account operative again, all right? Does the tax apply to savings account? I have no checking account. I only opened a savings account and do send funds there just to have some money in Nigeria. I talked about bank account, yet I still got all these questions about savings account. Maybe because I didn't make a clear distinction about the type of account I was talking about. That's because there's no distinction. Any type of account you're operating in Nigeria, savings account, current account, mixed account, corporate account, nobody will touch the cash inside that account. I've said it in the other video. Nobody will ever touch the money in your account. That's about money in your account, the cash in your account. Nobody will touch it, no matter the kind of account you're operating. For those operating savings accounts, you know that you earn interest on savings account, right? The interest is taxed at the rate of 10% withholding tax. Since time immemorial, ever since we started banking, this has always been the case. The thing is that a lot of people do not read their account statements. You know, when I say it on this channel, that a lot of people are so rich, they don't pay attention to what is going on, the movements in their account. Go and check it. Let me show you my own account. At the end of every month, if you're running a savings account, you will see this in your account. It's by force, you will come. You can see that on the 27th of September 2025, this last month, I was paid 445 naira 72 kobo, being interest paid on the balance in my account from 28th of August 2025 to 27th of September 2025. The very next thing, they come like twins. The very next thing you will see in your account is the withholding tax. You can see here that they charge me 44 naira 57 kobo. You can see it's debit there as withholding tax on that interest that I was paid. Only interest. All over the world, the only thing that is charged is earning. So interest is earning on this account. It's only the interest that they will charge you this withholding tax on, and it's always been 10%. Yeah. ever since time immemorial. It has always been 10%. So that is how it will work. Will treasury bill be taxed? I guess Kingsley did not watch that video with rapt attention, because I already said in that video that treasury bills will be taxed. There was a time treasury bill was exempt, charging. One time I invested in treasury bills. You guys saw that they would charge me withholding tax. The other time I invested, my stockbroker said that they've stopped charging, and I invested and they didn't charge me. It all happened last year. But based on that public notice that I read in the other video, they plan to start charging. Of course, they've already started, because the circular was released in September last month. So they started charging withholding tax again on treasury bills and other short-term investments. So yes, you will pay tax, 10% withholding tax on the interest on your treasury bill. Whenever we are talking about these taxes, it's only on interest, and nobody will ever touch your capital. Whatever you're investing in, FGN savings bond is already tax exempt anyway, but I'm just trying to tell you that nobody will ever touch your capital. Commercial papers, nobody will touch your capital. That one, you've always paid withholding tax on that. Mutual funds, whether it's fixed income fund or money market fund, nobody will ever touch your capital. Never. It doesn't happen. It's only on the earnings, tax earnings. When I told you guys that this will be a major lifestyle change for Nigerians, Nigerians never understood this kind of jargon before. Nobody paid attention to it, but you're going to start paying attention to it by fire, by force. Any tax on mutual funds? Yes, mutual funds have always been taxed. Yeah, go and check your statements on these dashboards, wherever platform you're investing in. Go and check it. You've always paid taxes on them, and you'll continue to pay 10% withholding tax. Mutual fund tax, yes. Are crypto transactions now allowed in Nigeria? Yes, so Iboro, that's what we saw. They sneaked it in last year. They made a lot of noise about banning it. I think that some people's accounts are still blocked, but yeah, they've quietly sneaked it in, because, in the first place, it didn't make sense that a country was banning crypto investment. Why are you banning it? This is a source of income for you. When people make money, you charge them tax. But Nigeria is a country where anything happens, anything goes. What about buying American stocks on apps like Bamboo? If you sell the stocks but want to reinvest on American stocks, do you pay taxes before you reinvest? When you sell your stock on these platforms, you haven't transferred the money to your bank account, right? The money is still sitting, because when you sell, the money is still sitting on the platform, right? So the Nigerian government hasn't seen that money. They're not going to touch it, even if they're going to tax it. They're not going to touch it, because you're going to still use it. You sold one stock and you want to buy another, right? The only one I've seen for sure that they said something about is about dividends. If you earn dividends there and you bring it in through the right channel, which is your bank, it's tax exempt. And now to business people. Most young people get items from dealers and resell to make a little profit to survive. For example, say Jude collected laptop worth 2.8 million naira and sold and made a profit of 50,000 naira. A huge amount was paid to his account, but the profit from that transaction is just 50,000 naira. How would this individual explain this to tax unit that the millions weren't his money? First of all, what you will do to prevent this is to self-declare. Assuming you want to declare your tax for this year now, once it's January, you go online and self-declare. That is when you will declare all these things, that this money is the money you sold for this laptop, you this, you that. Assuming these are 5 laptops, you have to be selling laptops for you to pay for 5 laptops within a month now. It's just like handbags. If a woman has a lot of handbags, people will be like, are you selling them? Because they're too much for one person. It's the same thing. There's no way a single person can buy 5 laptops in 1 month. If the taxman sees that all the time there are gadgets, payment for gadgets going through your account, they will know that this is definitely a business, and it will be clear which one is your gain. Because when the person that bought it paid you 2.85 million and you transferred 2.8 million to the other person, it's obvious. Keep the paper trail. Stop doing cash transactions. Maybe you're standing with the dealer and you say, I was supposed to transfer 200,000 naira to you from the laptop I sold the other day. But wait, I have 200,000 naira in my pocket now. And you give it to the person. No, don't do that. Do everything through your bank. E-receipts as well. There will be websites, approved websites, where you can go and create receipts, official receipts that you issue to the people that buy this good from you. All these things are tied to your business.
There's something we call fiscalization and electronic invoicing. That system is being piloted now for big taxpayers first. Later on, it will come down to everyone. Any invoice that you issue must be linked to government system. As you are issuing the invoice like this, a copy is being downloaded automatically to government system. So if you buy 10 mobile phones for sale, and government says each time you sell a phone, charge VAT. And you say, is it government that set up the business for me? Government is corrupt. And you sell 2 phones using government approved system. The system will capture it. You sell 5 phones. You did not use government system. Government system will say you still have 8 phones that you have not sold. At the end of the year, when they come to you and say, "Oga, madam, how many phones do you have left?" You say, it's 3 I have left. So they'll say, tell us how 5 phones disappeared.
I will say that you shouldn't worry about this, really. I lent someone money this year and they're paying me back in monthly installments. Will I be taxed on the amounts coming into my account? No. Like I said in the other video, nobody will automatically tax any money coming into your bank account. Let's say you lent somebody 1 million naira. They will see that you transferred the money from your account to the person's account. And going forward, please start writing agreements on loans, because even banks, when they loan you bigger, not all these small loan apps that loan you money through the app. When you go to all these big commercial banks to borrow money and drop collateral and all that, there's something that you have to sign that they lent you money and all that. Even in the villages, people still write that agreement. When you loan people lands to cultivate on, to give you back, you have to write it as agreement, because you never know. If you give somebody land, okay, go and start farming on my land. Tomorrow, the person's children will come and think that it's their father's land. Meanwhile, they don't know about the agreement between the two of you that is just a loan for them to be cultivating on it till a certain time. So when you loan people money, make them sign something for you. But even for loans that are already running, that will run into next year, you don't have anything to worry about. So long as in your bank account, they see that you transferred money to the person, and in the transaction details, you wrote loan to so and so to be paid back by so and so date. I utilize all the space allowed by that. You see that transaction detail? Oh my God, I use it a lot, because that's what I use to sort our own accounts later. Because when you're building something or renovating something, you'll be spending money. Later, you'll be like, what is this money for again? Why did I transfer this much money to this person? No. When you're loaning that person the money, the description should say that it's a loan. Some banks have a short limit, like Zenith Bank. They don't give enough space for description. But you see, Fidelity Bank, I write essays there and it has never told me that it's too long. Be as descriptive as possible with all your money transactions going forward. When the person pays you back the money, I'm sure the person will also be descriptive. They want to cover their own backside to prove that they've paid you so amount and so. They said loan repayment 1, or loan repayment June 2025, loan repayment October 2025. So you don't have anything to worry about. If you charge the person interest on that loan, your taxman notices that, oh, you loaned this person 1 million naira, but how come it's 1.2 million that came back in total? Then they will know that you charge the person 20% interest, 200,000. So you're going to pay tax on that 200,000 if you don't know it. That's where they will catch you. And next, YouTubers and online business people. Arusi Kenga said, for those of us that live in Nigeria but work online, like I own an e-commerce store and earn entirely in dollars and pay taxes to the US government, would we pay tax to Nigeria also? For YouTubers, the US charges tax on a portion of YouTubers' earnings. All the money I make from people that live within the US that view my ads from inside the US, I pay taxes on that portion of my YouTube earnings. I can tell you now that in Spain, they still charge me tax on everything. They don't recognize that tax that I pay in the US. Since that time, I've been trying to shove the tax certificate to my accountant here. Because at the end of every tax year, the US will send a tax certificate, stating the taxes I paid for the tax year. I've been trying to give it to my accountant. He said, eso no vale. Eso no vale. Then hello, Flo. This one doesn't count.
If you're a remote worker, you work for a company, that company might be an American company, somewhere in Europe, anywhere, and you earn a salary, that amount of money they pay to you is your salary. You will self-declare it. Because if your employer were to be in Nigeria, they will deduct and pay on your behalf. Because your employer is not in Nigeria, they don't care about the Nigerian tax system. So the obligation falls on you to self-declare. If you now refuse to declare, the government will see the movement of the money and say you failed to declare, and they will deem it as your income, charge you tax on it, add penalty, add interest for delay payment. The same thing applies to influencers. You are influencing online, that's okay. You earn income, you pay tax as well.
Since the US is not on the list of countries that we have a tax treaty with, I showed that list in my previous video, you can as well assume that you're going to pay tax on all your earnings. YouTubers have asked me this question: have you ever, since the US started charging this tax, have you ever received a tax certificate from the US at the end of the tax year? I receive it all the time by post here, and I think that you can access it online as well. You can take it to a tax man. According to Taiwo Ayodele, that is why I keep saying that this tax thing, I don't know, there are a lot of things that needs to be put in place, but this is not the video for that. I'll reserve that for a special video where I'll talk about what I think, my opinions about this tax law. But for now, let's answer the questions and get ready, because January is around the corner. So Mr. Taiwo said that
there will be a certification process and there will be a portal. You just need to go there. They will give you their number. It's called Tax Agent Number, TAN. Once they give you, you don't need their permission. Go there on your mobile phone. You will see whether they are accredited or whether they've been suspended or whether they are not even accredited at all. So we also want to protect taxpayers, so they get competent people advising them. Just imagine I speak good English and I confuse a small business owner to be the tax expert in town, and they rely on me and I misadvise them. When they are penalized by the government, they carry their cross. It's not supposed to be like that.
Just like SEC has a list of approved stockbrokers, that's the same way they're going to have a list of approved tax accountants in Nigeria. So you can go to one of those people when they release that list, because I've not seen it anywhere, and ask them how they're going to consider this. These are all the special, like I said, where you'll be taxed. There's always conditions and different specific ones and all that you have to consult a tax accountant. Are we going to be getting a tax return? Yes, Mr. Ayodele has something to say about it. Listen to him.
Tax refund is a situation where you've paid more than you're supposed to have paid. Around the world, sometimes towards the end of the year, you just see a mail, under your door, and they tell you that your account has been credited with refund. We want Nigeria to be like that. Under this new tax law, we have now created a framework that will enable people to get refund easily. One, we're saying to government, don't share money in the FAQ every month and finish sharing everything. Let's calculate how much refund is due, take it out of the money in the federation account before we share it. Because that extra amount that belongs to the taxpayer is not government money. We should be able to give it back to them once we've done, the analysis and they are justified, so they are refund. The same structure is being created at the state level as well.
Yeah, somebody asked about rental apartments. I have rental apartments. Are we included in paying tax? Yes, that house is in Nigeria. It's an income. Rent is an income. But you have a lot of deductions to make. You can deduct the money that you spend in maintaining the property, renovating the property. If the house is in an estate, maybe you pay security fee. There are a lot of things you can deduct. I'm going to make a dedicated video on this. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can deduct, but yeah, after the deductions, anything that is left, you pay tax on it. Yes. Another person asked about rent. Does it mean I'll pay 23% tax? This is 23% for that band on my 15 million naira rent per annum. No. This is a progressive taxation. Even if the amount of money you're looking at falls under a particular band, they're not going to apply that percentage straight away. Assuming that you've deducted all the deductibles and you have 15 million as the taxable income from rent, you're going to first of all remove 800,000 naira, that's tax-free, and then you go to the next tax band, and there's a formula for it. I'm going to do a separate video for that where I explain the taxation. Yeah, it's progressive, not bowai. I saw this one after recording the video. If I sell land, will I pay tax? If I sell my personal land, yes, you will pay what is known as capital gains tax. Unless you're living on the land, maybe you have one tiny bako on the premises, yeah, you'll be exempt from capital gains tax. But if it's just a fallow land that you're not living on, you pay capital gains tax on the profits. There are deductibles for this one too, such as if you spent money to survey the land, install a perimeter fence, etc. You can deduct the expenses before paying capital gains tax on your profit. The one that is exempt is when you sell your personal house. Just like I said that if you're living on that land, maybe you have a bako in the corner. A personal house that is on the compound, that's the only place you live, you are exempt from capital gains tax. If the house is used for commercial purposes such as rental property, no, you pay tax on it when you sell it. If you rented part of your property, some landlords that share a premises with the tenant, that one has conditions, like too many conditions in that one, yeah. But you still get to pay tax because part of what you're selling is a commercial property. Can you do a video on some of the tax deductibles available to individuals and limited companies? Yes, I'll make a separate video. Like I said in that other video, I'm still working on that spreadsheet. As soon as I'm happy with it, I'm going to make 2 separate videos actually, because there's a lot to talk about on personal income tax and the other one. There's a lot, depends on the individual company. It's specific, so we have to be careful with that. We don't want to put out a generalistic information. Like I always say, I'm not a tax accountant. I'm trying to share with you the basic things that people should know. These are what anybody that has been paying taxes in Nigeria already knows. Like I said, this is a huge lifestyle change for Nigerians. Nigerians have never thought about life in this direction. And to think that a majority of Nigerians are in the informal sector, one-man business sector, hustling sector. So that's a lot of people that need to learn even these basic things. Louis said, basically, I can be gifting my wife. Yes, you can be gifting your wife and it will be tax-free for her. As long as it's not for Zaoza room services, it's not taxable, okay? All right, guys, I have to leave here. In my next video, I'm going to continue to talk about this new Nigerian tax law because there are so many aspects to it, believe it or not. Bye, see you in my next video.